things. So welcome to Martino Movie Reviews. I'm Dave North Martino. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Creed 3. Yes, I braved the movie theater for you to check out Creed 3 2023 and to see if it was any good. So let me give you my thoughts on Creed 3. First, let me just say that I ran down to see this movie. I hadn't even had lunch. And I said, well, I'm going to get a medium popcorn and a drink. And it came to $17.50. So I was like, what? What is going on? I used to balk when they charged like $6 for a soda and a popcorn. $17.50. Get a meal for that. Fine. I'll stop complaining. Anyway. So, of course, Creed 3 is a continuation of the Creed franchise, which has been excellent. Now, of course, that is a spin-off of the Rocky franchise, starting in 1976 with the original Rocky, and I believe ending in 2006 with Rocky Balboa. Now, just for my viewers on YouTube, this is the Rocky Knockout Collection. It is not the 4K. I'm thinking about the 4K. We shall see. I'm not 100% sure that I want to shell out for that until all 6 movies are on there. Now, all these movies are great. The 5th movie, it's necessary. It is a bridge movie. It bridges you over to Rocky Balboa and then to the Creed series. So it's necessary. Then we have, I have this one in 4K. This is the original Creed. And this movie is great. It's kind of a retread of the original Rocky, but it's just excellent. I loved it. And then they came out with Creed 2. Now I should have that in 4K. I know. For whatever reason, I only have it on Blu-ray, but I really think that Creed 2 is even better than the first one. So these are great films. And we're going to go into what I think about Creed 3. So as you probably know, Creed 3 2023 is a sports drama film. It stars Michael B. Jordan, right, who's in amazing shape. And this is his directorial debut. And he does fine here. It's great. But there are some problems, and we're going to get into that. It also stars Tessa Thompson as his wife, Bianca, and she's excellent here, just like in the last 2 installments. I mean, the perfect casting. Jonathan Majors, he was in Lovecraft Country. He does well here playing the villain. And then we have, of course, the incomparable Felicia Rashad back again as Adonis Creed, or Donnie, as his adoptive mother. And listen, we need more Felicia Rashad. We always do. It's always more Felicia Rashad, never less. But I don't think they utilized a lot of the cast as well as they could have. And I think this comes down to script problems. Now, Sylvester Stallone gets a producer credit here. And there's been a lot of back and forth whether Stallone's blessing was given for this film. I had reservations even seeing this film, just because Stallone, he created Rocky. He created Apollo Creed, who is, of course, the deceased father of Adonis Creed. And, there's some wonky things that happen in Hollywood. I know he wished them well, but he either didn't want a lot of involvement. And I don't think this picture suffers because Rocky isn't in it. I think these characters can stand on their own, but I think Stallone's sense of storytelling is what we're missing. Stallone knows this type of film. He basically invented it. So it would have been helpful to have him on board and helping with the story. Now, at the start of this film, Adonis Donnie Creed, who is played, of course, by Michael B. Jordan, he's riding high, right, in his career. And then an old friend returns, played by Majors, and it threatens everything he's worked for over the years. So as I've said, Creed 3 has a stellar cast, but unfortunately the script is weak and there are some pacing issues. I found myself sometimes sitting and fidgeting, and that's not great. And in a movie like this, that shouldn't happen. Now, Michael B. Jordan, he is in the prime of his life. He's in great shape, but it feels like for most of the film, he's in the background in his own feature. Now, I know he's up front, but hear me out here. Adonis, Donnie, right, spends his time promoting a fight between Felix Chavez and Victor Drago, and he spends a lot of time remembering or reminiscing about his troubled past. Jordan has amazing charisma. We need more of him. We need more of him as a fighter. We need more of him even as a mentor. But he's kind of somewhere in between. He's kind of like, I don't know, he's a promoter. At one point, Major's character says he's doing his Don King. And he kind of is. Just to be clear, we need Michael B. Jordan to be more active, a more active participant in this film. Again, with his directing, I don't have anything bad to say here. He's got the skill, he's got the will, and I do look forward to seeing what else he does behind the camera. Now, Tessa Thompson as Bianca Taylor Creed, she has great chemistry with Jordan. Bianca is having some troubles in her own career, some changes, as well as Donnie is having changes, and their problems really should intersect, but that doesn't happen here. She really should be kind of a mirror to what's going on in his life and happening in his career. And at the end, that should give her the realization to support him. And it doesn't quite happen like that. To me, their characters seem a little bit disconnected, even when a tragedy brings them together. Not only do we need more of Thompson in this film, we need a continuation of their love story. That is the heart of whether it's the Rocky franchise or now the Creed spinoff. It's a love story. And everybody talks about, and it's even listed, I said it's a sports drama film. These films aren't really supposed to be complete sports drama films. They're supposed to be underdog films, but they're also supposed to be love stories. That's really what drives these films. There's also Mila Davis Kent as Amara Creed. And I feel she's perfectly cast. She's great as the daughter. And they give her a conflict, very much like Rocky V, but it's very short and it's never really resolved and it's very muddled. I wonder if there were some scenes left on the cutting room floor, and it would be great if they would reassemble those. I'd like to see them in a director's cut. Now we have Jonathan Majors as Damian Diamond Dame Anderson. Interestingly enough, his character has a lot in common with Mr. T's character, Clubber Lang, in Rocky III, with more of a personal connection to Adonis. And I think that could have worked better. But they really try too hard to make Damian, they make him like a Rocky-like underdog, but you don't want to root for him. So that kind of doesn't work. And then they go kind of by way of Rocky IV a little bit, but they kind of pull back. There's a lot of Rocky III, IV, and V in this film. And that's okay. To take these elements and kind of, put them in a blender, take certain things and put them, that's great, but they have to be assembled correctly. Again, that goes down to editing and it goes down to a script. And I think they could have done it better. And I think with some judicious editing, it could potentially be fixed depending upon what's on the cutting room floor. Then we have Felicia Rashad as Mary Ann Creed. And she's playing Donnie's adoptive mother. She has since the first movie. She's Apollo Creed's widow. And she takes over for Sylvia Meals, who unfortunately passed away. She was originally Apollo Creed's wife. Now, Felicia Rashad is always a welcome addition here. Did you know that she's the sister of Debbie Allen? I had forgotten that. But I think, again, there's something missing. Her interactions with Donnie would usually bring tears to my eyes. I would usually be blubbering. I got a little misty-eyed during some of their exchanges, but it just, I don't know. I didn't feel the emotion this time. And I was nervous. I was nervous because before I ran down to the movie theater, I said, you know what I have to do? I have to get some Kleenex, right? I have to get tissues. But I didn't. I forgot. it didn't matter anyway. It didn't matter. But really, a film like this is supposed to pull at your emotions, it's supposed to pull at your heartstrings. It's supposed to lift you up. It's supposed to make you feel something. I just wasn't getting that from this film. Speaking of that, the last two Creed films weren't just moving. They were also fun. They were exciting. It was a good time. Now, I think one of the problems here is that there's at least a possible Drago franchise coming out. Now, of course, that ties in to Rocky IV and then into Creed II, and that's brought into Creed III. Now, just like Rocky III, they could have created a friendship at this time between Adonis Creed and Victor Drago. Drago could have even maybe stepped in to train Creed. That would have been interesting. I know, train him Russian style, maybe in today's, I hate this term, but it might be considered problematic in today's day and age with stuff going on. But I think that would have worked. So is Creed 3 worth the watch? Yes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you watch it in a theater, but it is worth a watch when it comes to a streaming service, especially if you're a completist. This film wasn't terrible. It has all the elements. It's fun to see the characters again, but am I going to purchase this film? I'm not sure. Maybe if there's a director's cut, but I'm sure I'll see it again because I went to see it and my wife hasn't seen it. So either way, I'm going to end up watching this film again. And, maybe I'll have some different thoughts during a second viewing. Creed 3 is still in theaters. Now, this is my story doctoring section. And let me just say that truly, if you really look at the Rocky movies, and even the first two Creed movies, what we're dealing with is the hero's journey. You have the hero sees a dragon, like in the fourth movie, Drago, and knows he's got to fight the dragon. So he gets his friends together and he finds a wizard, and the wizard gives him some magic, in this case, some boxing magic. And then he prepares, he overcomes obstacles, he fights the dragon, he marries the princess, and he becomes king. That's the story. And all you have to do is kind of follow that. And you could follow different patterns because it's been done different ways. And if you watch all the Rocky films, they're a little bit different. There's revenge stories, and there's stories that are more like Hercules and stuff like that. But what I say is don't stray from the formula that made these movies successful. You have to put Adonis Creed, under great pressure to fight and not to fight. Usually the exterior pressure is to get him to fight. But Bianca should be like, you don't need to fight anymore, or you shouldn't fight anymore. And then eventually she relents and is on his side and allows him to move forward. But no matter what he does, it should seem like he's going to lose everything. And then focus on the love story. That's the heart of a movie like this. He should still be losing until love saves him at the end. Creed 3 wasn't a knockout for me, but even with all its flaws, it earns a solid 3 stars. It's watchable, if a little lackluster. I'm Dave North Martino for Martino Movie Reviews. Full written reviews are up at our website. Now back to Alan R. Warren on the House of Mystery. On KCAA 106.5 FM, Los Angeles, 102.3 FM, Riverside, and 1050 AM, Palm Springs. We leave no listener behind.